Welcome back to the Human Condition Podcast. This is your host, Dia, and today I'm honored to be starting the season with two inspirational and powerful souls that somehow entered my awareness and space a few weeks ago. And by pure divine alignment, we sit here today exploring the mesmerizing musical journey of Matthias and Bogdan, also known as Awaré Music, a duo that captivated the audience with ethereal sounds, immersive live performance, truly redefining what it means to create a musical journey that is inclusive rather than exclusive. A journey that explores subtle space in music, playing the strings of the mind and heart, connecting in a congruent resonance of individual and global truths. Guys, welcome to the Human Condition Podcast.
Thank you.
We've been chatting downstairs quite a bit, and I feel like there's a lot of amazing gems, and I think your intention behind the journey that you create is so powerful that it transcends the normal way of creating music and performing music. So tell us a little bit about where that started, your intention with Awaré.
Where did it start, Awaré? I guess Awaré has been an evolution of a personal evolution, independently. Bogdan and myself independently, and we were so lucky that life kind of brought us together into this path. So yeah, it started maybe like I would say 6 years ago, not as Awaré. We met and there was this very like a special connection, and we were part together of a couple of projects, always holding space. But I guess we kind of knew that there was something, the two of us together, that we need a message that we needed to bring to the people. And I guess, after these 6 years and giving and spending so much love in these two projects, we decided to start our journey as Awaré, and so far it's been a year and 1-2 months, and it's been incredible.
It's very amazing, and I see I see the music and the journeys has been traveling all across the world. I feel, in a sense, for musicians and for artists, a year and a half is really not that long of a time, right? No. But you guys seem to have really spread across the globe, I want to say, by providing a very mystical, magical, true, deep experience that you really can't, find anywhere else. I think we've been blessed and lucky to have experienced that in Dubai a couple of nights ago. So I can speak from experience, when I reflect on your performances, and it truly is, a space of reflection, inspiration, and it really holds that ceremonial context and energy. And I just want to give thanks to Ala, who's behind the camera at the moment, who initially started the intention and tried best to basically provide that experience for the community here in Dubai. So getting into a little bit about the way that, one of the key elements of the performance is your improvisation during the show. And normally, as a musician, when I look at other musicians improvising, there's an element of unknowingness, or there's an element of like, we're not sure where we're going to go. Are we going here? Are we going here? But with your performance, there was really a lot of confidence in that improvisation that I felt come through. It was an improvisation, of course, but there was true like confidence in the presence and the way that the improv was being delivered. Where do you think that's coming from? What's inspiring that?
Trust is the biggest goal as well inside of improvising. If you trust who you're creating with, you trust in yourself, you trust in the message. That's when you can relax and really jump. And that's a personal work. And in the concert environment, it kind of affects everybody. Once you have that trust in yourself, you have a trust in co-creation.
Everybody feels that energy.
Everybody starts feeling it. But there's work. There's work on every concert. There's energetic work that happens because people in the beginning are not comfortable. People are not like, they don't know what this is. No? Like
Correct.
They know there's some work coming ahead. And it's interesting every time. There's
it's beautiful.
It's trust and is let go. Is put ourselves in a vulnerable space. And get naked in front of everybody. But that's the whole thing of like, showing that we're not really looking for masks or structures. We just want to open ourselves as much as we can, and because that's the goal. And I guess the people feel that instantly, and that is the what kind of impact everybody. And we kind of all get together in the same frequency.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's what really makes it magical.
100%. I agree. And I think there's so many other elements that you guys implement in sort of like your live performance that attributes to that. Maybe talking a little bit about the setup itself, because of course we captured some content and we'll include that for the viewers and listeners. But it was pretty significant to be sort of creating that circle around you as well. I think, you guys being in the center and allowing other people to observe and connect to your energy, but also everybody else. Where did that start? Where did that come from?
I think that's a little bit of it's kind of an accident, right? But for example, we are here sitting in circle in a way. Well, we need Ada on the other side, but it looks like it's a circle.
Correct,
and you can feel that the energy between us, it feels in a beautiful flow. Yeah. So we kind of understand that, and we understood that, and so basically we are all the time we center the stage in the middle, and people are surrounding. I guess it comes not really thinking, but it comes from a ceremonial thing, right?
Yeah.
So the whole energy flows in a circular way, and like I said before, we are like the antennas, bringing these frequencies, and people can reflect to that, but at the same time they can connect with the other one that is on the other side as well. It's not like and we can see each other. We can see and connect with each other all together, right? Because again, it's not only our work, it's the work of us and the whole audience that makes it special and powerful.
It's beautiful to empower people.
Yeah.
When you put people in front of each other, like if you put the stage and then audience looking at the stage, it's very linear. I'm here on the stage. We talked about it. You're on a stage, you're performing. I'm here to perform for you. You're giving your attention to me. But in that way, you don't empower people, right? Like you have a stage, everybody appreciating the stage. When you're in a circle, you're in the middle, and not too high, of course. People see each other. They bounce off each other. They inspire each other, right? And it's all about that. You empower. You give that power back to them.
Back to the community.
It's exactly. It's not
100%.
about
100%. You said something very interesting, even during soundcheck, when we were getting to know each other and having a conversation. You said the Rockstar days are over, and I think that really stuck with me because I come from a band background as well, and of course the ambition was always big stages, big crowds. But then when I experienced your journey, I want to call it, of course it's a show, but it was even more than a show. I feel like calling it a show is a bit of an understatement. So I just want to call it more of a journey. And when I noticed that, when I kind of saw that resonance and that connection between people, that totally made sense. The impact that that musical journey had on me, and I'm sure other people as well, was far beyond anything that I've experienced at that linear context when it's like watching a band on stage and you're cheering and then leaving. So I think the emotions that are moved and the energies that are moved are far more profound. So it definitely works.
We always recommend this to all the artists. All the artists should kind of try this. Musicians, bands, or whatever kind of art. It's really beautiful to immerse everybody in it.
In the process.
Should be the way, not the separation anymore.
it doesn't work. That's the old mindset,
done.
huh? That's it.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
So the evolution from the music, of course, when people come to a musical experience, they expect that words will play a role in it, right? So, and I think, in a very traditional context, we all listen to music, and the words are like the story. Like, where is the story that I'm trying to follow?
The words.
Yeah, correct. And then, of course, I had other friends in the group while we were enjoying your journey that came to me, was like, "Is he singing in English, or what language is that?" And I'm like, I think it doesn't come from a language source. And that was something I wanted to ask and reflect on, because, of course, it's noticeable that it's more energetic than contextual. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit more about where this comes from.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's a question that we've been asked for
every time.
Okay. Right. It's interesting because when I was a kid, I started connecting with music since very, very young, probably 4, 5 years old, and of course, singing was my main connection with music, and I remember not even talking too much, right? But I remember singing and finding this way of singing.
Nice.
If you think about when we are young, the beautiful thing about that time of our life is that we live present, right? We live present. It's all about like that in that moment. And I remember that feeling of singing, but not thinking of words, but I was expressing my feeling in that instant moment in this way. I would do it myself. I kind of hide from the rest of the people because I was like, okay, maybe they don't understand. I would feel like. Then of course we get older and we get more and more in our mind. We discover the world, we discover the languages, we discover this kind of music, this other kind of music. Of course, I loved it. I started playing in different bands, and I disconnect from this way of singing. And then maybe like 10 something years ago, I can say I went through a personal shift, and so this way of singing with words kind of limited me in my way of expression with music. For example, when you play an instrument, it's a little bit more easier, right, to kind of be present and play, right? But not fully. But if you sing, and if I start singing in saying words, I put myself in my mind, in a box, in a structure, right? Which is amazing. But it puts you in that structure. It limits you in a way, no matter how amazing the lyrics can be. And so I went back when I was to those moments when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I went back to that way of singing, and it allowed me to play and feel in that moment. Feel and express in that moment that feeling. If I have to think about words, I wouldn't be able to be present
and express
in expressing
There's
the
something
music.
very interesting in that, because we are both type of musician or mind that we never heard words in music.
Interesting.
And this is something that we kind of reflected on that, and I'm like, you were singing those words. Did you pay attention what those words said? And it's like, no, man. Like,
interesting.
It's like
interesting.
Our focus as musicians was on something totally different, not on the lyrics, not on the.
Even think about when you listen to African music. You like African music?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you understand what they're saying? How did you connect with that music? You're connecting with that music in a different way. You're not really think, oh, they're saying this and that and that and that. And again, don't get me wrong. There are so many incredible composers and writers, but this is different,
Yeah.
This is kind of our way that we feel that we need to connect with music, and
And this way, it's really beautiful because the way he sings, everybody gets their own message.
Yeah.
It sounds like a language. You listen to it, but everybody will get what they need to get at that moment.
100%.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
again, you give that power back.
And
people.
freedom
Exactly.
to receive it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
And we're all
empower the
going
people.
through different personal process in our lives,
Yeah.
you know, like things. And I remember so many times, like people like, you know, Matthias, you were saying something to me.
Yeah.
And but that happens so many times.
Interesting.
Matthias, you were like, did you say anything? You were talking about this and that maybe. And, you know, it's like, you know what? We express in this universal language, right?
Yeah.
And people take what they need.
What they need to take, 100%. I think
Right.
we spoke a little bit about that frame and the box context. You know, like, again, keeping it within the musical context, a traditional way of writing a song is verse, chorus, bridge, verse, you know, like a format.
Yeah.
And that's not present, you know, maybe in some ways, but in general, I don't feel it's present in your expression of music. And, you know, we mentioned that when you allow yourself to remove those boundaries and to create without these boundaries, you know, like what is language? Why do we have to use language when it comes to an expression? And then really, truly something magical happens, which you guys have touched into and started playing around with, which was super beautiful to witness. But how do you keep that authenticity, you know, that comes from yourself, of course, and your personal journey within those expressions? Because I guess as humans, we fall into either trends or also like fall into comfort zones sometimes.
Yeah.
So how do you stay in that zone? How do you stay in that space of, you know, not in the boundaries?
You jump again. You
Okay.
have to like kind of find yourself in that vulnerable space, and sometimes not inspired, but just start. Start something. No, he starts singing something, or just start playing something, or we ask the audience, just start something, and let's create from there. So you basically jump. Literally,
Nice.
you push yourself. You know, like when you're scared into
Just
jumping,
go.
you do this.
Yeah.
Like you kind of push yourself into complete, jump.
I guess
That's the way.
I guess that's why we don't like to plan.
Interesting.
You know, sometimes there are concerts where there are like, I don't know, 400 or 500 people around, and we're gonna get on the stage, and I think, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, and there's
maybe we
nerves
should
as
start with
well,
this and
you
that.
know,
No,
like-
this, you know what works the best? Not to plan.
Interesting.
If we start planning, I think it get worse.
You know what happens when
get
you
worse.
surprise when something amazing comes out? You get so amazingly surprised that happiness actually it's like
It's over.
I think
Yeah.
everybody feels that.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
agree.
It's not
I agree.
about like this song came out so good. No, this whole composition that created in that moment was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Because you
No, you don't
can
even remember
feel
anything.
Yeah.
you can feel the evolution
Yeah.
of what we are building.
Correct. Yeah.
You're being part, you know, and sometimes that part maybe is a little bit too long,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But it's
It
okay,
happened
you know.
that
It's
way,
okay.
you
Okay,
know?
it's happening, and maybe, you know, people are like, okay, you know, let's support this. Come on,
go.
we can do
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
you know. And then we figured out a way of like, you know, make sense, you know.
Yeah.
You said something very beautiful right now. That people understanding, like, let's support that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be amazing for if people get. I would not use word educated because it's kind of hard. Our
Yeah.
education is too linear. So not educated, but people
Open.
and
Yeah.
aware about how important then their support and presence is in this.
Yeah.
It would be
crucial,
amazing.
yeah.
That it's crucial.
And I must add as well, I mean, from the audience perspective, I did notice the feeling of the observer, because like you mentioned, when things are being born in the moment and in a flow state, we as the audience are the observers, but I feel there's an element of observer in you guys as well as the creators, because
100%.
things are just like unfolding as they come through. And
100%.
that, you know, that almost like the first look energy, everybody's having it because it's coming through at the same time, which really transcends, you know, in the performance.
Yeah.
This is why we love as well looking at each other when we are because it's like
to keep that focus as well.
It's
to get, we need
important.
to keep that. Let's keep that focus. We're feeling everything that is happening around, but because of what we need to hold that space and really stay as much presence as possible in this journey, we end up realizing that, you know what, is better if we face each other. You know, sometimes it might probably look like, oh, that's kind of like an ego thing, but no, it's just the opposite. It's like
increase
it really
connection,
works to make it strong.
Increasing the connection. That's it. But if we increase the connection, then everybody gets there.
100%.
You know, so it works for everybody.
100%. You know, in a world where, you know, things are probably busy and everybody's maybe sometimes, of course, overwhelmed with the day-to-day life, right? It's when you step into a place that transcends that day-to-day life and allows you to imagine a new way, imagine a new shift within you as well of possibility, of potential, that, you know, you could experience life in a different way. And I think that's what you guys provide. What is your, when people come into your shows and your experiences, what do you hope they leave with? Is there anything that you hope they take away?
I think I guess the feeling of one, the feeling
connection
of
and open heart,
the feeling of harmony, the feeling of like I guess we have built as a society, as a world, a very egocentric society, and we need more of that feeling of togetherness. And that's I guess that's the message we want to transmit in every performance, you know, where
we'd love to
inspire,
to hear when people are inspired. That's like, okay, that's what you said after, like, it's like, okay, that's it. That's beautiful. You felt it, you lived it, and you got inspired by it. Like,
so much more powerful.
So I'm going to read you a quote from one of the people that actually showed up at the show, and this is something that was posted I think a couple of days ago. But she said, "Transported to another time and place. This experience was one I will never forget. At one point, the level of connection was so pure, I was both filled with joy and gratitude, to the point of tears. Deep longing in the heart, this was what the world needs more of. This level of heart-opening creativity, connection, raw, wild depth." So, you know, it really translates, and it's beautiful to.
Oh man, it feels so right, you know. It feels so right. I guess again, we are this is not only about making beautiful music. This is about, again, connecting with each other. This is about feeling more lighter, feeling more free, feeling more vulnerable, feeling more loving,
free to be ourselves.
And so
authentically just
be yourself and create from there.
It's okay. It's great. It's amazing.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. That's how we want to live life. At least try to live life. You know, get as close as we can.
It's a day-to-day work.
It is 100%.
It's not
100%.
Life goes on, and now you're no. It's the day-to-day work.
100%.
Remember, we have to support each other. This is the power of humans. It's amazing.
And the community as well.
Yeah.
For, you know, you touched on inspiration a little bit, and you know, leaving people inspired, and I truly felt inspired on many levels, you know, walking out of the journey and the concert. For musicians specifically, what would be your advice for them to be in that truth and to be themselves while they're creating? Because, you know, at times we try to imitate, or we try to sound like somebody, or, you know, to fill into that box. How to become your true self in expression?
You want to go for this one? Or it's
like, first of all, define, like, try to see in yourself when you're acting out of fear, even if it's topped up with hundreds of layers of images and stuff like that you've created, that you believe in. because we create a lot of self-image that we feed each other every day. You kind of
almost like stories that we tell ourselves, right?
Exactly.
And limiting beliefs sometimes that we're not good enough, or you know, like what do we have to say? Is it important? Is it and that's usually the challenge.
Yeah, I guess.
First of all, define that fear.
Yeah.
First of all, find it and decide: do you want to act from there, or you want to act from somewhere, from your choice of like, okay, let's see what's really out there, or like what's really out here, and why am I acting like I'm acting? It's a personal thing. It's a personal inner work. Yeah. It's not about music again. Music is just something that comes
vehicle.
Out. It's a vehicle.
I guess you can't separate. I mean, when we separate ourselves, musicians, and it goes together, the musician and the person, right? So, and I music is a reflection of where we are in that moment, right?
Yeah.
So, talking about a suggestion, let's try to separate a little bit of this title of musicians, and let's think about ourselves as human beings, and think about how much do we need to keep on, when they talk about peeling the layers of the onion, one layer, the other layer, to try to get to the core and see what's in there, right? First, as a human, right? What's in there, where we are, right? Who we really are, what do we need to work on, right? And then music is a reflection of that,
and
right. So what are we gonna bring out?
That's the big one. For musicians, this is the biggest one.
Yeah,
your friends, musicians, who are
what they think.
All our education. Your classical, jazz, rock, punk, like all these friends that we have that we would love them to like us.
Yeah.
What will they think if we play in one key? Simple rhythm, exactly. One key.
Exactly.
That
makes sense.
This is a big fear of every musician. It's a fear of not being enough.
Exactly.
And recognize, right? And
I'm not making a solo with a guitar,
For musicians, I would say, like, erase that fear. Like, play one note, stay
make
in
it simple.
note if you feel it, and that's it, man. It really doesn't have to go anywhere that you don't feel that it should. Like, break that mental construct that it needs to be something.
Interesting.
Right? Like, it doesn't have to be anything. Just break that mental construct of fear-based
place and source.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then from there, just what comes out, comes out.
Interesting. Yeah. And it's that true connection to the self, right? You said about peeling the onion and arriving to that, like, looking at yourself in the mirror almost and understanding, who are you? What do you represent? How do you want to create in this world, and what colors and energies you want to sort of transmute in this vehicle, which is music. I mean, maybe for other people it's painting, maybe for other people it's building something. So it's our medium in a way when it comes to music.
And then you will find that message.
Yeah.
Because do you have a message to bring to the world? And that's probably a question that we should all ask ourselves. Do I have a message to bring to the world? What I mean by a message is not the words. Do I have a message to bring to the world? And then, I guess when you have that message, you're ready, right?
To create.
And things start developing in a very beautiful way. But sometimes we try, to like, I'm going to look for this sound.
To force
maybe
it.
If I get this synthesizer, or if I go to this studio, I will find, and if I work with this producer. And
I was guilty of that. Well,
we all are. We all were.
I know. But so we tend to go to these comfort zones in a way, And but then we effort ourselves a lot, but we can't find it. It's like, and then again, we need to go back to the roots and see how we find our message.
Man, just be yourself.
How we find our message. What do you have to bring to the world? No, there's talent everywhere. in the world that we live in. Come on,
there
is talent probably 2 houses away from here. You know, bigger than us. You know, is it talent what we want to bring? Is it like, oh, you know, I can do this and that and another? Yeah, I mean, come on. Is that a message?
So let me ask you this then: what is that moment that you guys felt you found your message, and what is the message you're trying to bring to the world?
That's interesting because in all of the years, I'm 41, and I guess this is probably in this last couple of years, I started feeling that for the first time, I have something to bring. There's something I need to bring to people. There is the first moment that I really wanted to record something, for example, and show it to people. And before,
actually, it's it's amazing because we both could record all these years, and this is the first time like that
you felt
exactly that it's coming out like out of that place. That's like, okay, I'm not. It feels right.
It feels right, and it really feels more closer to the core, to where I am. So that's you know, before it was like, oh, Matthias, you sing, oh, how nice you sing, and blah blah blah, oh, how beautiful the band sounds, and I was like, yeah, but I felt like it was not enough. Like I felt like, yeah, even though 100 people can tell you how beautiful you sing, but that doesn't mean that you're complete, you know, and you feel that need of like, okay, I need to bring this to the world. Yeah, we can record, we can do a lot of things to please people, but do we want to please people? Because that's what I felt like I didn't have to, you know. I don't want to please people.
Right now there's no.
I just want to see if I can bring something for somebody that allowed them to maybe move something inside and become something better. I guess that's a little bit of the power of music. The power of this way of expression is really to move something more.
But it only happens in that way when you are naked on the stage. If you're vulnerable on the stage and people truly see that and feel that,
allows them to open up.
Exactly. And so basically, we need to peel the onion. We need to look for that message. How do we do that? We need to open
yourself.
Ourselves, right?
Correct. And in that context, you know, you mentioned about initially if somebody says, "Oh, you sing great," or "You play great," and you're great musicians. I mean, what would be a fulfilling, not compliment, but like a fulfilling note from an audience that's receiving, you know, your creations? Is it that their energy moved? Is it that you allowed them to reflect on themselves? You know, what is the hope that you're trying to like ignite within that moment?
Well, the whole idea is to go deep and to keep on working. Our work never ends. We're gonna live all of our lives at least in this dimension, and we will keep on working. If we can open the space.
And this is now, and it's gonna keep evolving. This is right now what is going on. In 2 years, we will probably play completely different.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's not like, oh, we're creating this. It has
and
to
that's
be
it.
this way.
But if we can open that space for people and allow them to go deeper and do some kind of work, you know, and move something, I guess that is big part of the beauty of doing this.
It's just
so if they say like, you know,
to be authentically ourselves without the fear of proving anything, allowing ourselves to just be
and allow the evolution to happen as well, right? Because and that evolves in so many different ways.
This is what we wish for humanity, that each individual allows themselves to be themselves. That's it. That's enough. And that's authentic. That's the message. Right? So we just do what we feel doing. This, what we were talking about. Like if this is not a work as well, if we are like completely settled on the material plane, right? Like, what would you be doing in your life? I would be doing exactly the same thing.
Nice.
Right? Just I would not be charging for it.
Yeah.
We were doing it for free.
Yeah. That's an important question, right? If people are not working for money or any kind of recognition, how would they spend their time? How would you spend your energy? And if I think all of us had the time to reflect on that one question, and of course, that answer could sometimes be very uncomfortable for people because that allows them, or that indicates that your life might need a major shift. But allowing yourself to slowly integrate through that shift and allowing that new version of you to emerge and evolve is important to recognize. And I think what you guys do is a beautiful space to allow that reflection to happen, to allow people to connect to their true self, because you guys are connecting to your true energy and your true self, and it really is infectious.
We try.
It is.
Try to be as close as we can.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a work that never ends.
Correct.
Because we try to be in balance. We try. We try to be try to be in our balance, in our center. But of course, we move. Some moments we are more disconnected than others, but the good thing is to recognize that.
Correct.
And always know that our goal is to try to be as close as we can to our center, our balance, right? So I mean, this is. Personally, the two of us, we struggle a lot with that, like any other people, right? But our goal is let's try to keep on working and open musically with what we do, open that space to each person do their
parts,
own
and their work.
Work.
Amazing, guys! Thank you so much for being our first guest. Almost done. Of course, in the traditional fashion, we've got the incense burning and it's almost done. So I want to thank you for your time and being here and sharing your energy with all of us in Dubai. And I'm sure we're going to get to experience you soon. Building friendships and building bridges, and I'm excited for the future. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for inviting us, man.